This video lesson covers Chapter 5 in the GIS Tutorial for Marketing book, Developing an Integrated Marketing Communication Program for CFA in Lexington, Kentucky. CFA is the Community Farm Alliance. It's an organization in Lexington and across the state of Kentucky that is designed to help Kentucky farmers recover the revenue they lost formerly to tobacco sales, growing of tobacco crops and selling of those. We're going to focus on Lexington and Louisville, more specifically Lexington, where they've already developed farmers markets, and now the organization is wanting to develop an integrated marketing communication program to promote the purchase and consumption of locally produced food products. We're going to focus that effort on Lexington, and it's going to have two dimensions: a push strategy to convince local grocery stores to carry locally produced foods, and then a pull strategy to try and convince Lexington consumers that they would to frequent restaurants and grocery stores who offer them locally produced food products. What we're going to do as we proceed through this project is to help you learn how to create map symbology to display population and business characteristics, to use the query characteristics of a GIS to select businesses for the push component of the campaign, and groups of customers for customized promotional messages related to the campaign. You'll select appropriate media for target community tapestry segments using market potential indices, and then use maps to communicate and support your recommendations. You'll start in Task 1 by exploring the food outlets and demographics of Lexington, Kentucky. You'll load a base map of Lexington, and you will add food outlets and demographic information to it, as well as purchasing information about fruits and vegetables in that city. You will use more demographic data to increase the symbology and the meaning of the symbology in the map, and you will show a educational attainment by bar graph within zip code. This will be the kind of map that you'll work with. Notice that in each zip code you have bar charts indicating the relative educational accomplishment by group of those with less than high school, those with some college, and those with college degrees against a background of purchases at restaurants. In Task 2 in the chapter, you'll select the grocery stores for the push campaign. These are the grocery stores for which you will target the locally produced produce of the farmers in the Kentucky Farm Alliance, and you will try and find those grocery stores which have the best chance of using this as a competitive advantage in their own strategies. So you'll select the stores that fall in that category, and you will also assess the coverage of these stores in low-income zip codes where you would really like to improve the exposure to local foods and local food products, and you'll document these in a map. So at the end of this task, you'll have a map something like this, which indicates the zip codes in the city, the ones that you've selected to carry the locally produced produce, and the percentage coverage of those in low-income areas. In Task 3, you'll turn your attention to the pull portion of the campaign, where you will identify restaurants whose purposes it is to convince consumers that they want to dine at those restaurants based on locally produced food products. You will identify the restaurants that are the most likely to participate in that program and create a map which shows their coverage of the area in Lexington. This is an example of the type of map that you'll use. The restaurants that you've selected here are highlighted in blue, and then they are buffered to indicate the coverage area that they represent in the city. Then in Task 4, you will turn to the consumers in Lexington, and you will focus on selecting the advertising media for a media promotional campaign to influence these customers to frequent the grocery stores and restaurants that you've already selected. So you'll target specific groups of zip codes for different types of messages in the campaign. You'll look at the tapestry segments in those zip codes and their lifestyle characteristics to give you some idea how they respond to media attention. And you will identify the media that they most often are exposed to and indicate how those media are distributed across the city in a map. So you'll end up with a map like this that indicates the nature of the target segment that you're working with, whether you're focusing on general consumption or grocery or restaurant promotion, and how they're allocated across the city. You'll then identify the dominant tapestry segments in each of those market areas. This is an example of the type of information that you'll work with. The composition of the segments is illustrated in the bar graph, and then the chart on the left illustrates the market potential indexes that you will use to identify the media behavior of each of those. And then finally, in exercise 5.5, task 5 in this exercise, you'll recommend a media strategy to the Community Farm Alliance. You'll develop a map that shows the promotional emphases for each of the zip codes and a table listing the appropriate media for the zip codes with a grocery store focus, and another set of promotional media for those with an emphasis on restaurants. So your map will look something like this, although the actual media and the data that you use will be integrated in the map where you have a series of placeholder text here. So this will help you recommend the appropriate promotion strategy for each zip code and the media that you will use to reach consumers in those zip codes. This map is designed to support your argumentation for that work. This concludes what you'll be doing specifically in this chapter, but these applications of GIS can be extended in the following ways. First, business analyst, business and shopping center data can be added to increase the list of potential grocery stores and restaurants that we're using, but also to get a better sense of the competitive environment. This information could also be integrated with customer relationship management or enterprise resource planning systems to help identify potential business customers, so that you might use these existing resources to learn more about the nature of those enterprises and who the best people are to contact there and develop relationships on the longer term with them. You can also use the market potential indices in more detail to get more elaborate and comprehensive media exposure information than we have available in this exercise. Clicks and mortar retail sales with pickup options and store locators can also use GIS and mapping tools to provide more information to customers about where they go to pick up orders from the store or what the closest store is. And the GIS applications can also be embedded into websites, web-based GIS, to extend the appeal and the promotional message to various types of customers. So those are the activities that you'll be performing in Chapter 5 on developing an integrated marketing communication program, and also some idea of the types of additional applications that you can use in this field.